I've traveled to Morocco, Japan, Spain, Thailand, and plenty of other spots, and I'm letting you know right now that traveling is a top two experience and is not two. I want every single person that's watching this video to experience the same things that I've experienced when it comes to traveling and just exploring the world, because it is one of the best life experiences. The majority of these major trips that I've taken have been paid for, at least airfare wise, with credit card points. So we're gonna go over everything you need to know to make sure you can travel like me around the world using points and you pay very minimal amount of money. Let's get right into the video. Let's go. So I use credit card points to pay for three major trips when it comes to traveling, just the airfare alone. The very first one was all the way on the opposite side of the world, one of the longest flights, if not the longest flight in the world, from New York all the way to Singapore, because I went to Thailand. That was on Singapore Airlines in business class, and that only cost me $56 in business class. Mind you, my friend also went. He paid $4,000 cash because that's how much it costs to sit in business class at the given time. $4,000 or $56 when you use your points. Which one would you rather pick? Another trip late last year, I got two premium economy tickets to go to Japan. Of course, everybody wants to go to Japan, and you need to go because it's one of the best places on earth to go to. It's so cool. So two premium economy tickets with points and $600 got me to Japan round trip. Normally, cash value would have been about $2,100 for those two premium economy seats. And currently, if you're watching this video as it's being uploaded, so today and probably next couple of days, I'm not even here right now. I'm not at home. I'm actually in Greece because I got two economy tickets using points for about $600. Normal cash value would have been about $2,100. So just to reinforce that idea, points are going to get you pretty far when it comes to traveling. I redeem pretty much all my points for airfare, and I think it's one of the best values for your buck when it comes to points. Let's get into what you actually need to do, because I broke this video down to 4 simple steps, simple, easy for you to follow. Let's not waste any time, and let's talk about the first one. So number one, you have to earn the points. To earn the points, you're going to need some credit cards, in particular some travel credit cards that do give you points. Now, I have with me right here the Chase Sapphire Preferred and also the American Express Platinum credit card. If you're interested in getting either one of these credit cards, the links will be down below, and they pretty much give you points when you spend money on them to go and use for travel. I've also made separate videos talking about these credit cards in depth, so if you're interested, definitely check those videos out and then come back to this video to know what to do next. But now you earn points by using these credit cards, by obviously spending money on these credit cards, getting sign-up bonuses, and also referring people to the credit cards. Now, not every credit card is going to give you points that you can redeem for travel. So I have a picture or something on screen just to let you know which cards will pretty much do it, or just which cards are the best to do it. But like I said, I have those two cards, and if you're just getting started, I would recommend the Chase Sapphire Preferred. And if you travel, I would say over 6 times or more a year, and also travel internationally, then I would go for the Amex Platinum if you're really interested. But I do not recommend that card unless you travel a lot, because that pretty much that annual fee is very expensive at about $700 a year. So you got the credit card. Number one, you are earning points now. Number two, so you're ready to go ahead and get your first trip. You're ready to fly somewhere for free, or pretty much fly somewhere with points. What do you have to do next? This is step 3. All right, so let's say you got your credit card, you got some points, and you're ready to book a flight. You don't know where you want to go, but you think you want to go to Japan because, let's face it, everyone wants to go to Japan. So what you're going to do is you're going to head on over to this website. This website is known as pointsyeah.com. You're going to head on over to this website, and this is where you're going to figure out how many points you need to actually book a flight, and that's pretty much it. And I'm going to show you step by step how to do it really quick. Now, this website has a lot of information, but as you can see, we're right here on the home page, and we're only going to change a couple of things just to get started. So we're going to make sure this is set to round trip because you need to get back home, right? You might not need to, but let's just say you do. Round trip, 1 passenger, because it's just going to be you. Unless it's more, then obviously you put more. We're going to keep it at all cabins. All cabins just means economy, premium economy, business, first class, all that kind of good stuff. We can do all banks. So this is pretty much all the different bank programs that you can get credit card points from to transfer to an airline to go ahead and redeem to fly with points instead of paying cash. I know that was a lot. That was a long sentence, but stick with me. Past that, we got all the airline programs. So pretty much you're going to keep all this stuff the same, and you're going to go ahead and search for a flight. Personally, I live in the DMV area, so I'm going to pick WASH, which gives me all of the Washington, D.C. airports. So that gives me BWI, it gives me IAD, which is an international airport, and it also gives me DCA. Most of these flights, you're probably gonna get the best bang for your points when it comes to international airports. So if you have one near you, then that's great. If you don't, then it's probably best to fly to one. When I went to Thailand, I actually flew from New York City. So I flew from here to New York City, and then from New York City to Singapore, Singapore to Thailand. Either way, just because the points were better, obviously, from flying from New York than Washington, D.C. Either way, though, like I said, we're going to do Washington, D.C. because that's where I live, and we're going to do Tokyo. So if you're wondering why I picked Haneda and not the other international, Haneda is just closer to downtown Tokyo than the other international airport that is also in Japan. So just side note, if you do want to go to Japan, go to this airport and not the other one. And we're gonna do a date. So you're gonna pick a date. I already had one set. Let's do around my birthday. So that'll be like around October 26th, October 27th of this year. We'll set that again, and then we'll do from, like I said, November, or like I have set, November 9th to November 10th. And literally, we're just gonna click yeah right here at the bottom or on the side. So this is going to load. It'll be a bar right here at the top, this little orange bar. Once this orange bar gets all the way to the end, that means all the prices loaded in or all the point totals loaded in. So you can go ahead and figure out where you want to fly to, who you want to fly with, all that kind of good stuff. But it's usually going to show the cheapest first. So you can just go with that and we'll get into it. Just waiting for it to load and we'll cut back in 5 seconds. There you go. Here are the results, and the first credit card point total right here is about 35,000 points. But I do want to let you know there's obviously some options up here at the top. The only thing I personally would change is stops. If you add more stops or take away stops, then likely your trip is going to be more expensive. But I just don't like layovers, so let's just do nonstop only. Let's filter for just nonstop only. So Washington D.C. pretty much straight to Japan, and that's pretty much exactly what I did last year. So if we scroll down after filtering for that, we can see the first option right here, which will be the cheapest, is a United Airlines economy flight, 14 hours nonstop. You're going to leave here at 1 p.m. and get there at about 5 p.m. And as you can see over here on the right, it pretty much says Chase plus 20%. We'll get into that in a second. We also have American Express membership points, Built, and Capital One. And that goes to the Air Canada aeroplane account. So you have to make an account. But like I said, we'll get into that in just a second. So either way, let's go back to the top right here. This is how many points you need. So simply put, you need 46,000 points to get a flight from Washington, D.C. to Japan. And if you go all the way back to the top, you can see it's also the returning flight is here. So you have to get your flight back as well. So it looks like you're going to need another 46,000 points to go from Japan back to Washington, D.C. Now we go back here to the departure. You can see right here where it says 20% for Chase next to Chase. So that means if you have that Chase Sapphire Preferred credit card I'm talking about, then you only have to give up 46,000 points. But if you have American Express, Built, or Capital One, then you're going to have to give up 55,000 points. As I'm recording this video, there is a 20% bonus with Chase if you decide to transfer your Chase points on over to the Air Canada account, and that will get you those points that you need to go ahead and take that flight. You only have to transfer 46,000, but if you had an American Express account and try to transfer the points, a Built account, or a Capital One account, then you're going to have to pay a little bit more in points, 55,000 points, and that's just one way. If we go up to the top and check the returning flight, it looks like it's about the same, 46,000 points to get back, but it's 55,000 points plus some money to get back if you don't use Chase when it comes to transferring those points, because the other credit card reward programs don't have a bonus going on right now. Now this can change all the time. It says this one expires July 17th, so you have until July 17th to transfer those points to get that extra bonus. But if you don't do it by then this promotion will be gone and maybe a new one will pop up. We don't know. So let's do a quick recap. Let's say we do have a Chase credit card, we do have Chase points, and we're going to use those Chase points to redeem to get this travel. Number one, we're going to need 46,000 points going and 46,000 points coming back. So that's 92,000 points right there that you're going to need to go ahead and transfer on over to the Air Canada airline portal. If you don't have an Air Canada account, then obviously you can just go on their website, make a free account real quick, and then you'll get account ID, and that ID is what you'll use to transfer the points. Once you transfer those points, you're going to go ahead and just look for this particular flight and just click book with points, and it's that simple. Since we need to transfer the points, we're going to head on over to our Chase bank account where we have that credit card at, and we're going to sign in. Once we sign in, you're going to see this pretty much on your dashboard, and you can see right here your ultimate reward points right here at the top right. It may be a little bit different depending on if you're in your phone. You might have to scroll down a little bit, but regardless, I just like to use a desktop for certain things, and this is one of those things. I'm going to go ahead and click on that. Once we click on that, we're going to click on the credit card that we want to use. In this case, is the Chase Sapphire Preferred. But you can see I have another credit card here as well. This is another tip. If you want to transfer points between credit cards, you can do that with Chase. I'm not sure if you can do it with everybody else, but I know for sure you can do it with Chase because I've done it before. So just side note. Either way, we're going to go ahead and click on the account to get those points. So available points. And pretty much you can do a lot of different things with your points right here. So you can manage your rewards, you can convert to cash, shopping experience, or travel, which is exactly what we want. We're going to go ahead and click on the travel tab, and it says transfer points to partners. We're going to go ahead and do just that because remember, the Chase points is going to transfer from Chase on over to Air Canada, and Air Canada is going to give us that 20% bonus. So we're going to transfer those 92,000 points on over from Chase to Air Canada. So go ahead and click on that. And then you can see right here, you can see they have a Air Canada bonus of 20%, like I just mentioned. And they also have a Marriott Bonvoy bonus of 50% right now. Didn't know that, but that's great as well. If you want to book a hotel, you can do the exact same process with a hotel that you would do for an airline. But for me personally, I like airlines, and I think you get the best value for your points with airlines, so I just stick with that. So we're going to click on airlines just to see all their partners right here, as you can see. The Air Canada one is already enrolled, but like I said, we're going to go ahead and click on that to get that bonus. If you're not enrolled, then all you have to do is pretty much just make an Air Canada account, and then you're just going to link your account ID to go to on Chase, and that'll be that. So scroll down, you can see all their details, blah, blah, blah. Click transfer points, and it's going to be for obviously myself. And this is my Air Canada account ID number. I don't know if that really matters. We're going to go ahead and click next. And then it's going to ask you how many points you want to transfer. So like I said before, these points, website is going to tell you 46,000 going, 46,000 coming back, as you can see right here. So we need 92,000 points to go ahead and transfer. So that's what we would do. We would type in 92,000. And that will literally be it. Now, obviously, I don't have enough points to make this transfer, and I'm also not going to Japan at that time, so I wouldn't do it anyway. But 92,000 points would then be transferred to the Air Canada account. It should take at most, I would say, a couple of days. The longest I ever waited was a couple of days, but it can take up to 7 days from what some of the forms pretty much say. But it can take up to 7 days. I've seen it happen instantly. I've seen it happen after 2-3 days. It depends on the partner, but it is what it is. Either way, just give yourself a little bit of time to go ahead and do that. So if you see something, just make sure you transfer the points. And once you do this, this is a very, very big thing. Once you do this, you cannot transfer the points back. So the points will be stuck on that Air Canada portal, and you can use that to obviously book a different flight if you want to, but the whole point was that you're using it to go to Japan. So you obviously want to book that particular flight. So like I said, just make sure you're transferring the right amount of points. If you mess up, if you transfer too many points, then you cannot get those points back. If you transfer too little points, you can always transfer more. Not a big deal. You just cannot get them back to your Chase account once they are gone, and that works for every single thing. Not only Chase, but Bilt, American Express, Capital One, it's all the same thing. Just note that. Now, as I close this video out, this method is not for everybody. Obviously, I don't want people to go out here and get a credit card to use a credit card for the sake of traveling, spending more money than they normally wouldn't spend. So I have to preach it. Credit cards are a tool that you can use to excel your finances, but also a tool that could truly destroy your entire financial outlook. So be very careful when you're using credit cards. You're only supposed to be using this credit card to pay for things that you were going to buy anyway. If you're paying or you're buying extra things with a credit card because you have extra money or a high credit limit, then you're not using it the right way. And if you're paying any interest on your credit card, then you're deleting the whole purpose of doing this process in the first place, because you're spending extra money that you normally wouldn't spend if you just went out and bought that product with cash. So only spend on a credit card which you're willing to pay for in full every single month. We don't want any late payments. We don't want any interest, anything like that, because all that really cuts into all your free travel or your free credit card point travel, as you could say. And simply put, it's really hard to get out of credit card debt, so you don't want to get into it in the first place. So if you don't trust yourself with a credit card, then this just isn't for you. To be completely honest, it's not. I'm telling you straight up, it's not. Don't do it. So yeah, but anyway, after I got, scared you a little bit, if you wish to sign up with the credit card links down below, you will get a bonus. Some of them have a $50,000 point bonus. I think Chase has a 20,000 point bonus or something like that. So definitely just check out the links down below if you wish to sign up with my credit card link. If you don't want to use my link, you don't have to. It's completely up to you. But either way, they do have sign up bonuses, so you can go ahead and get a lot of points up front if you do what they say, which is like spend $5,000 within the first 3 months and stuff like that. But if you have to go out of your way to spend this amount of money to get points, then you shouldn't do it either. So like I said, be very responsible when it comes to credit cards. cards. I have plenty of credit card videos and how to deal with credit cards and how credit cards work. I have tons of videos already on the channel. I'll link them up here. So lock in for that. Watch those videos and also watch the videos on the actual credit cards I just mentioned, the Chase Sapphire Preferred and the American Express Platinum, because they're both really great credit cards. The American Express is definitely for that heavy traveler, and the Chase Sapphire Preferred, honestly, I think it's really for everybody. I think it's a great credit card to have for travel. If you travel lightly, for food, and for other little things, they just have a lot of perks. So I really like it. Either way, that's pretty much it. I'll catch you guys in the next video. Stay safe, stay positive, stay hydrated, and go ahead and get some free travel. Let me know where you decide to travel to. If you've already traveled with credit card points, let me know where you've been, because I'm looking to go somewhere else after I get back from Greece. Either way, I'll catch you guys in the next video. I'm out. Take care of yourselves. Dollar Mike. Peace.